Hello, I'm SC, the homeless woman. I'm at my storage unit right now. It's about probably around 6:30 p.m. So I come to my storage unit a lot, especially since it's been so hot. My storage unit has climate control. So when it's really hot outside, it feels good inside. It's not like cold cold, but it's a comfortable temperature. You can stay up in there all day. I don't go to Starbucks anymore because that used to be my go-to place when, well, every day, all the seasons, but especially the summertime. But I just don't like being in public places anymore like that. That's how I came across a lot of people. A lot of people, I became friends with a lot of people. I met them in Starbucks. But I'm kind of I'm over that. Some of the people, very few of the people were really nice people, genuine people. A lot of them, um, I didn't want to really have anything to do with them, to be honest with you. But sometimes you know someone, and then that you really like, and you're really cool with that person, but then they're friends with someone that you don't like, that you don't want anything to do with. So I went through that um, when I was going to the Starbucks. And so I just got to a point because those cool people that I did like and did want to have something to do with them, they just wouldn't let go of those other people that they know that did me wrong, and that they were aware of that they did me wrong, but they were good to them. So I just had to walk away from everybody. And that's what I did. I just walked away from them all. So um, now I'm by myself most of the time. Well, all the time. I'm by myself all the time, and the only person I talk to is my mother over the phone on a regular basis. Um, it's another lady that I do private rides for her. Sometimes we go out to eat, and we text each other time to time. And so yeah, so most of the people in my life right now, um, I met doing Uber, and I do private rides for them. So, but we're not like none of them. We're not like close, but um, I text them from time to time. They text me, stuff like that. But anybody else, no, I'm not friends with them. Some of the I run across some of the people that I was friends with when I used to sit in Starbucks and I used to talk to them. You just basically say hi, how you doing, stuff like that. And then sometimes they, in just that little bit of time, they find a way to upset me. When they walk away, I'd be like, mm-mm-mm. Like they say something or to just, because it was this one lady, right? I don't wear on my chest that I'm homeless. I did not want to make these videos. It Because something kept telling me that you should make videos about your life, and I'm like, no, I don't want nobody in my business. I'm a private person. But something was saying, but you don't have any privacy really, because somebody's always watching you, which is true. Somebody's always watching me, and I told you guys how the police here was watching me like all the time. So technically, I really didn't have any privacy. Not only when I got in my car and covered all my windows, if nobody was looking through a crack or something. So I said, what the hell? Go on and do it. Because the people that I do private rides for now, I didn't want them to know. But then something said, well, if they find out and then they don't want anything to do with you, because that's how some people treated me. Like, a lot of people didn't know that I was homeless and they would talk to me and, communicate with me. And then when they find out, they didn't want anything to do with me. So there's a U-Haul truck going by making a lot of noise. So they didn't want anything to do with me when they would find out that I was homeless. So I was thinking that, well, maybe these people might do that too, these people that I do private rides for. But something said, if they do that, then they were never your friend to begin with. And I said, that's true. That's true. I do like to know exactly who people are when they come into my life. Because some people, you really don't know that if they're really your friend. You don't know people until you get down. And when you get down, then that reveals to you who your real friends are. I know it did for me. So, and then sometimes, when you're down all the time, because the people where I stay at now, where I'm homeless in this city, these people never seen me when I had a place to live. So this is the only way they have ever seen me. And then when you start to do better, it's like they get jealous. They don't like, no, you're supposed to be this way. You're not supposed to be, you know, you're not supposed to start moving up. We used to you being down. And so sometimes they'll get jealous. But anyway, it's been hot here in California. This is not my favorite time of the year. The summertime is my least favorite season of the year. The spring is my number one season. I love spring because I feel like it's that just right temperature. It's just right. And then the flowers are blooming and the trees, and it's just beautiful that time of the year. But then after spring, here comes summer. So when I was a public bus driver, I used to go to work on my off days, especially in the summertime, because they had air conditioned buses, and I would rather be in an air conditioned bus making some money than at home running my AC, throwing away money. So I would especially work in the summertime. But now, I'm just, I don't want to sit in Starbucks. I wouldn't mind having a room with an AC, but that's a lot of money. I already did the math. I called one hotel. She told me a price because I wanted to know how much it would be for like extended stay. I was like, dang, that's a discount. When I added it all up, it came up to $5,000 a month. So I was like, oh no, can't do that. So I got a fan and put it in my car window, so it helps a lot. Or I could just come here to my storage unit. I've been thinking about getting me something to lay down in my storage unit, especially like in the daytime. I don't know if I'm gonna get it or not, because it's just gonna take up more room, But I can come to my storage unit and hang out in there when it gets really hot. I still got this Toro car. I've been in it all day. So I went to this restaurant. It's a soul food place. And I got catfish, collard greens, and cornbread, and rice and gravy. So I got two big pieces of catfish. So I ate one, and then I saved the other one for later. I put it on ice because I'm sure ain't nothing going to survive in this heat. It'll go bad. So I'm just sitting here not really doing much. I read me some Bible scriptures. I recorded them so I can put them out on my other channel, SC, a child of Yahweh, but I'm going to change it to SC, a child in Yahweh. It came to me today when I was sitting in my car. The words just popped in my head, SC, a child in Yahweh. And so I knew that was Yahweh telling me to change it from of to in. I was like, I like that better. I like that a lot better. There's a scripture that says that I am in him and he is in me. So it makes more sense to say, Essie, a child in Yahweh. So I'm going to change that when I get a chance. Haven't changed it yet, but I'm going to do it. So I was thinking about, oh my God, it's so hot in here. I didn't want to turn on the AC because then you won't be able to hear me as clearly, and I have to speak up really loud. But I was thinking about the last video I made, and I was I was telling you about the people that I had did a private ride for, and how they didn't speak to me after I spoke twice and nobody spoke. I was telling the lady that I talked to that worked in the gas station about what happened. And she said, "Oh no, I would have got that straight right then and there." She said, "I would have said something to them right then and there." I said, "Really?" Because I told her one day that I wish I was more bolder, and um, I feel like I can be bold when I'm pushed to be bold. I'm just, I don't know. I'm just not as bold as I would like to be. I'm getting better, I think, because I used to be really shy and timid. So I'm getting better at being bolder. But I spoke twice, so I didn't know what other way to address the matter. If I had said to myself that I wish I could have just got out the car, got my stuff from the trunk, and got back in the other car and left. Because I feel like if I had forced a hello, forced them to speak to me, which I really can't force anybody to speak to me, I feel like it just would have been a confrontation. You know what I'm saying? It would have been, and they probably would have said no, they didn't want me to drive their car after we have a, confrontation with each other. They probably think I drop them off and take off with their car. Like, who would want, I wouldn't want someone to drive my car and that I don't really know that well, and I done just had a confrontation with them, and now they're supposed to drive my car to do a private ride for me, and I'm going to be going into a restaurant and staying for 2 or 3 hours. How I know they're not going to leave? How do I know they're not going to damage my car? You know what I'm saying? So even though she said that she would have said something, I just didn't feel that it was appropriate time to say something about that. I was told when I was a school bus driver, I was told by another coworker that don't nobody have to speak to me. When I speak to them, they don't have to speak to me. That's what I was told by. I will always remember that, because it's true. Don't nobody have to speak to me. I can't make nobody speak to me. And that's how I felt that day. I can't make them speak, but I can take myself from that situation and not ever put myself in that situation again. But what I really wish I had did that night was what, like I said, got out the car, went to the trunk and got my stuff and left them sitting right there. That's what I really wish I had did. And that's the boldest that I can be, because me confronting them and saying why you can't speak and is something wrong, that's like a conversation, and I don't want to go there. because I'm not their mother, and they don't have to speak to me, just like I don't have to drive them. I didn't have to drive them that day. So to me, that would have been the most appropriate thing to do, is just got right back out and left. So, um, but I told you guys the next day I didn't go because I was supposed to drive for them the next day too. But I didn't go because I didn't like the way I felt around them. I didn't like the way they were treating me. Put it like that. Like I was beneath them. Like I felt like it's because I was black, and I felt it was racial. So, you sometimes, when people think, sometimes people think, and this is not all Caucasian people. I would never be the one to say all. I know all Caucasian people are not racist. But you can tell when someone thinks that you're going to steal from them, you know? And if you think that a person is going to steal from you just because you're black, just because they're black, then something is wrong with you, Um, all black people don't steal. Just like all white people are not racist. So I don't like when someone treats me like I'm going to steal from them. I can't stand that. So I used to have a friend. She was 100 years old when she passed away, and I used to go to her house all the time, and we would talk at the kitchen table. And she would tell me when she was working, she used to be a housekeeper, and she didn't work for a company. She worked for herself. But she used to tell me that she would just quit jobs like that. And I'd be like, what? Because I haven't never been able to quit a job like that. And I'm like, I need my job. I got bills, I got this, I got car note, I got that. But she lived a life where she was a good saver. She saved money. She didn't buy all this, fancy stuff. She had two houses that were paid for, fully paid for. She's the type of woman that she like to buy the house outright. She don't want to finance the house. But she lived in a way that she could buy the house outright. She bought cars outright. She didn't finance them. So when something didn't go right on her job, or wherever she was working, she would quit like that. She didn't argue with the person, her boss or whatever. She would just quit and get another job. I was looking at her like, I want to be like that. Do you know, like, that's freedom? To me, I feel like it's freedom. To, to imagine like having to work somewhere that you don't want to work. I know how that feels. To have to work a job that you don't want to work. To have to put up with a boss that you don't like because you know they're not right. And maybe they're not treating you right. But you still got to go and put up with that. I was like, because you got bills, because you have to pay your rent for a roof over your head. But imagine being able to, when something go down or something ain't right, you just quit and move on and get you another job and go on working. Oh, I was like, man, I don't know how that feels. I told her that. But she was able to do that because she had a savings, because she didn't have no car notes or no house notes. She told me that when she had a house, she had one renter. That one renter was paying all the bills. She was using that money from that one renter to pay all the household bills and stuff, like the electricity, the water, the gas, all that stuff. So she was able to live a life like that. I said, I want to be like that. I don't want to have to work, excuse me, uh, a job that, I don't want to work. But That Saturday when I was supposed to go back and I didn't because I didn't need that money. That felt so good. It really did. And I was thinking to myself, if I needed that money, I would have been forced to go back and put up with the same conditions or probably worse the very next day. I was thinking about how I would have felt driving the next day to her house. I would have felt like I don't want to go. I would have felt like how they going to treat me today? Is she going to pay me right after I finish working? Or is she going to pull this stunt again? Or is she going to pay me at all? My mouth is dry. So I said, I got a little taste of what my friend used to do. It was just a little taste of how she was able to quit her job like that and move on. When I didn't go that Saturday to them people's house, I felt like that was a little taste of the life that she lived, not having to work for someone that she didn't want to work for. So I turned on my ring light. It's starting to get a little dark. I want to encourage all of y'all, whoever watching this, not just black people, but whoever watching. If you don't save your money, start saving your money. Yeah, start saving your money. And I know it's hard to save, but one method that helps me to save is called cash stuffing. And believe me, they have a lot of videos on YouTube. Go and watch them. Cash stuffing. And that is what helps me to save. Because you really don't have to put a whole lot of money in the envelopes, you know. Whenever you get paid, whether it be every week or bi-weekly or whatever, you put them into categories and you know, put a little money in each one. I watched this video about how the Jews are so rich. And they had their money where they had like 5 categories. Like say you have 5 jars, right? And you put one jar has for rent and be your bills and stuff. I forgot what you call that jar. that jar. And then one jar was for savings and one jar was for charity. Like if you see a homeless person out there, buy them a meal or something, you know. One jar was for like vacation. It was 5 jars. I was like, I think I like that one better because the way I do it is more envelopes, you know, and the way that do it is more condensed down. And so you would separate when you get your money, your check, like say if you get $1,000 with 5 jars, so it would be, you would do it by percentage. So say you put 50% into the jar with your rent and your bills, and then you do 20 for vacation, and then you might do 10 or 15 for charity, and then another percentage for another jar. But yeah, you should go watch that too. It's I think it's called How Are the Jews So Rich? But it tells you what they do. So it was some pretty good tips in there. I was like, dang, I think I want to do that. But yeah, so that'll help you to start being more free. Because, you know, when you have to get up every day and do something you don't want to do, go somewhere you don't want to go, put up with someone that you don't want to put up with, that's like to me is like slavery. It's a form of slavery. You know, I think it's different levels to slavery. I know that the prisoners go through way more than what we go through, especially the ones in the South. If you haven't heard about that, watch those videos too. The prisoners in the South, man, wow. So in Texas and Louisiana, so um, I'm gonna end this video, and I'm gonna make another video. I guess I'll show you guys my storage unit. Maybe I should try to show it in this video. Well, I don't know. We'll see. But you guys have a good night, and I will talk to you guys another day. All right. Till next time.